Hello, everyone. We are Thomas, Stephen, and Hina. We are a couple postgraduates at the Faculty of Divinity at the University of Cambridge. And we wanted to just put together a quick video just chatting a bit about our experience at the faculty, giving some reflections on what we've enjoyed. We've all done the MPhil and now our PhD students, so giving a little bit of perspective on both of those programs. My name's Thomas. I am researching the relationship between Dante Alighieri, the medieval Italian poet, and Augustine of Hippo. I'll pass it on to Stephen and Hina.
I'm Stephen Toussaint. I'm a second-year PhD student working with the Norris Hulse professor, Catherine Pickstock, on the poetics of Nicholas of Cusa.
I'm Hina. I'm a first-year PhD student working with Dr. Ankur Barua on patterns of Hindu and Muslim philosophical and poetic interaction across South Asia.
So just to begin, we kind of wanted to, as a retrospective, look back and think what drew you to the faculty for the MPhil in particular, and what kind of convinced you, kept you on to continue into the PhD?
I'll start. So I had finished my bachelor's degree in English literature and philosophy back in 2008. And then after that, I did some graduate work in literature and in poetry. And so when I came to do the MPhil in the year 2017, I'd been away from the university for quite a while. And what was wonderful about the MPhil and very attractive to me was it provided a really holistic grounding in my case, philosophical theology, which again, I had a remote background in, but I needed that sort of firming up of those key texts and key problems in the discipline. And yet I was still able to focus in my dissertation for the MPhil on specific problems and specific thinkers that I was discovering in the course of that year. And that was a really wonderful sort of combined opportunity, both to strengthen the foundations and to specify.
So I would say, for me, it was really the kind of range of interdisciplinary networks that Cambridge, the sort of collegiate and university system, allows you to foster, and in quite an organic way. So for instance, I've been able to so my own research focuses on Islamic theology and philosophy, and as part of that, I've been able to join seminars and do things with the Cambridge Muslim College. So it really does have this flourishing intellectual and social life. And I suppose that's kind of woven into the fabric of the collegiate system. So not only do you get intensive academic support, but also pastoral care, and all of these things form one kind of integrated whole. And also I would stress, so for instance, my own academic career has been quite eclectic in the sense that I've done papers in Christian theology, and my own MPhil work focused largely on Islamic thought. But it's never the sense that these are entirely separate or distant modules or kind of streams of intellectual thought. They really feed into each other. So my papers in Christian theology and philosophy helped me with understanding forms of Hinduism, for instance. So it's really this kind of flourishing intellectual conversation across these streams.
Yeah, seems like a theme that we've variously discussed is that capacity to go in this faculty to the board, like what Donald McKinnon, one of the past Norris Hulse professors, called the borderlands of theology, the capacity kind of simultaneously to be grounded in this systematic, historical, philosophical framework, tradition, but then also make these kind of inroads in conversations with other disciplines, whether through the college or in the different various research seminars or courses in the faculty. Maybe my one bit to add to your reflections would just be a note on the collegiality in the faculty. During the MPhil, I felt like my work was taken very seriously, that I was able to start new and unexpected conversations both with other graduate students and with the lecturers and professors in the faculty. The supervisions were excellent. I think it definitely encouraged me to take a longer view of what my research could look like, and that it could develop into something substantive, right? It's a very fast-paced environment for the MPhil, but then there's that promise of, this could develop into something larger.
Okay, so I'll ask a second question. So what have you been able to develop now that you've both been in your PhD for a while? What have you been able to sort of develop, substantiate, either thematically in terms of your skills, during the course of your PhD study?
Well, for me, as I said before, I spent the MPhil year sort of reintroducing myself to the discipline as a whole. But what I found sustained me and made me want to continue on to the PhD was my introduction to faculty members and colleagues, Thomas being one of them, who shared an interest in our case, sort of the interdisciplinary hinterlands between literature and theology and philosophy. And I think you'd find that there's a lot of interest in interdisciplinary engagement, as you discussed, Hina, in the faculty, that is really attractive, I think, to a PhD student with these multiple kind of overlapping interests. And it was very exciting to me to sort of realize that in the faculty where there was this brewing conversations that I could sort of introduce myself into, and it certainly made me want to continue on for another 3 years.
Yeah, that's really good. I feel like speaking a bit to that kind of eclectic mix, you're able to both kind of root yourself in your primary dissertation research, but then also make the inroads into, are there particular conferences that I would like to attend? Faculties has provided funding for some of those trips as well. Some of those MPhil papers that I had worked on, I was able to think, okay, maybe I should develop this, try to submit it as a peer-reviewed paper, see where that takes me. Even I'd done some previous federal volunteering in the US, kind of now at Cambridge, I was able to develop some new relationships, even in the Institute of Criminology with their Learning Together program, thinking about prison education. Yeah, so just new conversations. I think if you want to, I don't know, if you're interested in the faculty, I would say, see what people are doing, see what conversations they've already started, and think, how could I enter into that mix? Who would I want to speak with? Who would I want to collaborate with? Probably the best answer. So that's just those are our reflections that we could offer for now. There's so much to say, but do explore the websites, check out all of the different programming, but happy to offer just a bit of conversation.
Thank you.